Fine. Teach me how to Hulk, please.
World War Hulk is a storyline fans desperately want to see in the MCU, but we have never been able to do that for a wide variety of different, complicated in-universe and real-world reasons.
I guess we can just skip all that then.
But could that all change soon? What if we could get a World War Hulk storyline that's just not centered on the Hulk? Yeah, that sounds blasphemous, but could Hulk's son actually be the answer to getting World War Hulk in the MCU? Thanks to She-Hulk, maybe. Let's discuss right now.
Just trying to show you how it's done.
I'm shown.
So episode 2 of She-Hulk just came out, which ended with the reveal that Smart Hulk has left Earth to go back to Sakaar for some unknown reason.
I got some things I gotta take care of.
But logically, there's only a few things it could be. Obviously, he's not going back there because he misses being champion.
No banner, only Hulk.
And with the Hulk personality gone, what would inspire Bruce to trek back to the place where he was essentially held hostage for 2 years? Well, what about a child he didn't know he had? In the comics, Hulk does father a child while on Sakaar who winds up being named Scar, and this sets up a whole series of epic adventures like Scar taking on Galactus and Silver Surfer, and then later on even Doctor Doom. So overall, he's an important character. But if we are leading to the introduction of Scar, could this be the MCU's chance to give us a version of the famous World War Hulk storyline? Hey, MCU, I get it. As much as I want World War Hulk, I know why we haven't been able to do that. In doing so, it definitely paints Bruce and Hulk as truly too dangerous to be heroes, and that's something the MCU just can't afford to fully explore. Once you cross that line with Hulk and Bruce, you can't really go back.
I'm sorry.
And while I haven't been happy with the direction of the Hulk character in the MCU, I understand why things have unfolded the way they have. But with the introduction of Scar, it could be a clever workaround. Scar in the comics goes through his own journey of revenge and rage, and if done right, they could actually make that a pretty successful World War Hulk storyline. The MCU could do everything it hasn't been able to do with Hulk, but with Scar instead. And it not only would be epic to see that finally take place, but also would make Smart Hulk's character even better. Let's talk about some details. So let's imagine that Smart Hulk returns to Sakaar and finds his angry, rage-filled son going on a planet-busting rampage. Yes, that means that this World War Hulk wouldn't necessarily take place on Earth, which I know is a huge bummer, but we have to take what we can get here. Anyways, Scar could be just on a quest to destroy everything in his path in a fit of revenge. You see, Scar has something called the Old Power, which is an ability that allows Scar to manipulate the Earth around him, which also includes manipulating lava and even turning his body to stone. Because sure, why not? He's in touch with the planet is what it basically boils down to, and it makes him extremely powerful. So imagine if an individual who can manipulate the planet's elements wants to burn it all down. What do you even do in that situation? Well, you call his dad to come get him. Bruce could be asked to step in and try to help, given that he's partly responsible for creating this threat. And this could be the way that we get regular Hulk back in the MCU. Yeah, I love Smart Hulk, but it's weird how they just erased the Hulk personality completely.
I'm so confused.
These are confusing times.
Especially given how it was clearly established that Hulk and Bruce were two separate people. Maybe in order to fully stop Scar's attempt at destroying Sakaar, Bruce has to let Hulk out again. That would be the best outcome for whatever is happening with this character right now. He's clearly sad about missing Tony, and She-Hulk has called him out for how isolated and alone he is. Maybe that's leading toward him renewing his partnership with the other guy, and also gaining a new son in the process. And then we could have an epic battle with planet-shattering consequences in a new Hulk-centric movie. Yes, I know not having it take place on Earth is a huge bummer, but maybe to make that better, we could have a bunch of cosmic heroes involved in this battle. Besides Hulk, you could loop in Thor and his daughter Love. You could feature Captain Marvel. You could have the introductions of characters like Nova and Beta Ray Bill. All of them could be involved in some capacity to stop this rampaging Hulk son from destroying Sakaar for good. It's the next best option given all the circumstances, right? And then after the smoke is clear, you could have Scar fully be a major character in the MCU. That's the most graceful way to phase out Mark Ruffalo if he doesn't want to do this anymore. Essentially, I think of having Scar in the MCU in this loose World War Hulk adaptation as a redo and reboot of the Hulk character. It's been more than 10 years since we thought Hulk was a truly dangerous threat in the MCU who could snap at any moment, and with Scar taking center stage, you could have that wildcard element that we're currently missing with Bruce. After the situation is resolved, I could see Scar being exiled to Earth and then having to come to terms with what type of hero he wants to be. He would truly be an outsider and probably would be hunted just for his very existence, which gives the whole thing a tragic and cautionary vibe that we don't get anymore with Hulk. Will Scar embrace his father's way of being a hero, or will he give in to his dark rage and become one of Earth's greatest villains? That's what I want to find out, don't you? I know this isn't a traditional World War Hulk storyline, but given the context of the MCU, it makes the most sense, right? If our options are adapting World War Hulk like this with a Scar as the focal point, or not having World War Hulk at all, then I would choose this every time. But what about you guys? Could it work?